What's up guys, DJ back again with another haircut or video. Finally I got a haircut, thank God for that. Today we're going to be talking about Sun and Moon booster boxes. Now, I've said in the past, most booster boxes rise in value or they stay the same. So we're going to look at modern booster boxes, particularly Sun and Moon era. So we're going to look at every single Sun and Moon booster box. And if you invested in one of these boxes each time through the releases, so you paid the bare minimum, regular retail, how much can you get for them now? How much is the growth? And we're also going to take a look at why some of these grew more than others. Why did some grow, did not grow that much? And how can you really use this information moving forward? So if you haven't really invested in anything and you're looking to invest in Sword and Shield, you might want to, take a look at some of these prices and ask yourself, why did these certain sets rise in value? So then moving forward, you can use some of that knowledge to better invest or, think about what should you really invest in. So I'll go through each and every set, how much they've grown, when did they release? So that's pretty important because you need to know how long did it take for it to get to that price as well. So let's get into it. All right, we're going to start off with Sun and Moon Base. This came out the 3rd of Feb, 2017. So that's 3 years ago, or 3.25 years ago, right? If you want to get technical. $150 regular retail in Australia. Most of these booster boxes were $150 in Australia. You might get a pre-order for $140, $145, but that is pretty much standard. So a lot of these prices are going to start at $150. So if you bought this booster box back then, you would have probably paid that much, $150. And right now, if you look on eBay, I'll jump up. I'll put up on the screen quite a few sold listings so you can see the comparisons and the prices right now. But they're looking upwards of $280, and that's the highest you'll get for one of these booster boxes right now. They're probably fluctuating around like $200 to $280. If you're lucky, you might find one cheaper than $200, like $175, $190. But in other words, this box hasn't really grown that much in that amount of time. In 3 years, it's grown. We've seen some growth, but it's not all there. Reasons being, obviously, it doesn't have that many collectible cards in it. The cards aren't really used for gameplay anymore. It just doesn't really... You don't really see many people looking to buy base set Sun and Moon. I did have a question from one of my subscribers about buying Sword and Shield base, and he was saying something like, maybe it has good prospects for investability because of it being the first set for Sword and Shield, first base set. We've kind of seen this before. XY base set, Sun and Moon base set, they don't rise in value that much compared to some of the other sets. So I honestly I wouldn't put too much money into that. Base set, from 99, 98 or whatever the year is a different story. It's the very first set of Pokemon overall. It's not the first set for a particular series. It's the first of the first. So that's a different story, right? So that is why that is so expensive, and that, that has a lot of years in it. But something like modern base set, usually they don't do that well. So as you can see, $280 is the best price you'll get for it. And the other thing is, you'd want something that would sell as well if you're investing in something, and I don't think you'd be able to sell that frequently. If you bought a lot of those boxes, I don't know how quickly you'll be able to liquidate that stock, how quickly you'll be able to sell it, how quickly you'll be able to find a buyer. So those things are important to think about as well. If you're investing in something, you'd want to be able to sell it. Something like base set Sun and Moon, probably not the best seller. Yes, it's grown in price, and growth is not everything, guys, because if you look at growth, it might be worth $250, it might be worth $280, but if you can't sell it, then what's the point? So moving on. Guardians Rising, 5th of May, 2017. So 3 months after the Sun and Moon base set. Regular retail price, $150 as well. how much can you sell this for now, or how much will you, if you're looking to buy one, how much are they going for right now? $250 max, right? So that's a little bit less than the base set. Once again, not too many cards collectability wise. Playability, you don't really see many people wanting Guardians Rising as a set, if you were going to sell it. So same sort of deal there. If you have some, you might be able to sell it for $250 maximum, but good luck finding a buyer. I'm not sure if there's many out there. There's quite a few boxes on eBay right now, listed for that, but you might sell a box every now and again, depending on how many you got. But yeah, so same deal there. Moving on. Burning Shadows. This is a big one, right? Came out 4th of August 2017. So this is the third set in Sun and Moon. And, we've seen the growth of this. They have reprinted this quite a bit. And we already know Charizard's in this thing, It's the first Rainbow Rare Charizard. So we know that the price is going to rise quite a bit on that. $150 regular retail price, once again. What has this sold for recently, and how much has it grown? You can probably find one for about $550 maximum. These are all Australian prices, guys, just in case you weren't aware. $550, that's the max price I've seen on eBay sold listings. There should be some sort of listings on the screen for you guys. I'm holding my notepad, so hopefully it's not getting in the way of the video. But $550. You can probably buy one for $450, $400. It really does range. And yeah, I think that's a decent price for nowadays. We've seen Evolutions surpass that. And, Evolutions is actually an older set than that. So kind of does make sense. What's funny is, how quickly Evolutions rose in value. So Burning Shadows you can get it for about $400 to $550 right now. And if you were looking to sell it, that's how much. So it has grown, triple to quadruple its value since being released. And that's pretty good in 3 years' time. Potentially could grow more than that. We just never really know. And we don't know if it's going to be reprinted because, this is a 3-year-old set, not like Evolutions, which is 4 years old. The chances of a reprint is always there, but it's looking good. It's looking good so far. But yeah, Burning Shadows, great set. A lot of people have invested in it, so we'll see how that travels. If you ask me, I'm a fan of not buying anything above regular retail price for Modern. I've said this plenty of times, but it's just too risky for me for the reprints and all that stuff. Always possible, but just never really know, right? So I'm not going to pay $450 for it. I'm not going to pay $550 for it. If someone offered me $300 in this market, that's a really good deal. But even that, I don't like it. I just think back, I could get 2 of those. I wasn't around in the game at this time, at 2017. So, I had the chance to pick it up. I chose not to. I just got to live with it. Moving forward, I can learn from that. And, I could possibly, every time Sword and Shield puts out a set, I could just buy one box every single time and see how that does, That's not a bad idea either. Shining Legends. All right. So this is a nice set. Sun and Moon. So one of the first, the first holiday set for Sun and Moon. It's done quite well, as you can see. I've made a few videos on Shining Legends with the Shining cards, and investability wise, it's gone quite up. No booster box for this set, but I chose to do the Elite Trainer box and see how that goes. That's probably the next best option. Back then, during the release, which was the 6th of October 2017, you can get it for about $80 at that time. At the start of the year, I actually bought one Elite Trainer box for Shining Legends for $110. Right now, they're going from $140 to $300. $140 is a couple months ago, but $300 is what the going rate is right now. And, that's quite a jump from $80 to $300. That's more than triple price. So once again, another great investment there if you bought it at regular retail price. Always suggest that for Modern. And the Elite Trainer boxes rarely get reprinted. I know Hidden Fates is apparently getting a reprint, but that's only in the US and the UK. I did make a video on that recently. You can check that out if you want. At that time, I didn't know it wasn't coming to Australia, so that sucks for us. But nevertheless, that is, the case. So Shining Legends, $80 went up to $300. At the start of this year, it was $110. So that's still affordable. $110, that's only like a $30 increase in like 3 years. And then it only took this whole, pandemic growth, Logan Paul stuff, and, fluctuation of Pokemon to bring that $110 to $300 in a matter of months. So, sometimes you don't see it coming. Sometimes it just happens like that. So 80 to 110 by the start of this year. And then in, 5-6 months, $300. That tripled in value. So it didn't gradually grow from 80 to 300, in that amount of time, in the 3 years. It took a couple months from the start of this year to actually go to that. So that's something to think about as well. Of course, this set has quite a few pros to it with the Shining cards. You can go watch my video with Jesse if you haven't seen that already. But we talk about Shining Legends a lot in that, so I won't, go too much into detail with that. Crimson Invasion, 3rd of November 2017. This is like the Steam siege of Sun and Moon. All right, not very popular. I don't know if it was the release date. It was very close to Christmas. Well, it was November, so I really don't know why it didn't do well. Maybe the cards weren't that great. I do have a few cards from it. Crimson Invasion, I heard that was a booster box that dropped in value overseas. But like I said, Australian market is a little bit different, and I honestly haven't really seen any booster box decrease in value. I hear Steam Siege and Crimson Invasion did decrease. Same with Roaring Skies, apparently. But that was all in the US. So if you're in the US, chances are those decreased. And there was reasons why, popularity wasn't good. The market wasn't as big as it is today as well. The collectability of the cards weren't that, probably no Charizards and stuff. But you know how it is, right? So that's always how it's going to be. If they put out a set right now that is subpar, no shinies, nothing collectible, no gold star, no amazing rares kind of stuff, no hyper rares, it's just gonna be boring for collectors. They're just not gonna want to buy it. They're not gonna want to collect it. And I think that was something along the lines for those kind of sets. They were also printed a lot, and they were put into lots of tins and boxes and collection boxes to the point where people were like just over it. They didn't want it anymore. So did that rise in value? It did. It still rose in value. Sold listings on the screen. What can you get it for now? Regular retail price, $150 Australian, and then it rose to $230. So, but that's max price, guys. I reckon $200 easy. If you wanted to buy one, chances of that growing any further, I don't really see it. I think it's max growth for the time being. We just never really know. We probably thought these things about black and white sets. With their booster boxes, they were like, pretty low prices until recently as well. They've gone over the $1,000 mark. But still, I wouldn't really bet my money on it, So Crimson Invasion, $230 max price. 2017, nearly 3 years now. Yeah. Probably not the best investment for the many reasons I said why. So moving on. Ultra Prism, a good set. All right, well, a good set to talk about really, because this was low printed set. This was a set that didn't get printed that much, and it just sold out real quick. But it wasn't a huge set either, it didn't have a huge chase to it. It wasn't like Hidden Fate sold out quick because there was a Charizard, or Champion's Path sold out quick because there was the Charizard or whatever. It was just sold out quick because they didn't have much on hand. They didn't have much stock. This came out 2nd of the 2nd, so February in 2018. $150, that was the going rate, the standard rate. And right now, I think they're going for $450. Let me check my notes. $470. Okay, and that was actually upwards. I think that was like 500, 550. It took a little bit of a hit. They did reprint this year, Ultra Prism. There was a reprint in America, I think. So that tanked the prices a little bit. But once again, you can see the sold listings on the screen that prices have gone up for them as well. You know, back to where they kind of are. Not as high as they used to be. I think they were $550. Now they've gone to $470. But still, if you invested in one of these back then and kept it sealed, $150 to $470 is a great, great return. I guess we didn't really see that reprint coming, but nevertheless, it was also small as well. So we didn't really see the light of, it in Australia. So I think that's going to bring us to the next set, which is Forbidden Light, I think. It is, guys. Forbidden Light came out 4th of May 2018. So standard price $150. Forbidden Light. This was actually one of the art sets I had trouble finding, along with Ultra Prism as well, when I was completing my art sets. So not much stock out there. I had to actually buy a pre-release kit for that in order to get it. So let us check what the price is. What is it going to be? It's grown from $150 to $290. That's not bad, right? That's nearly double in 2 years' time. I don't think it's a chaseable set. Investable set wise, like if you're investing in it now, I would not. Like I said before, regular retail price, way to go for modern. $150 to $290. It's already seen its growth. I don't know if it's going to go any further. I don't really see it happening. There's not much love for it, for Forbidden Light. And $290 is max, right? You probably get it for $250, $245, $230. It's really fluctuating from those. There's probably only one sold listing for $290, which is all on the screen for you guys. But yeah, Forbidden Light, one of those kind of sets that wasn't collectible either, but has seen more of a rise than something like Guardians Rising or base set, Sun and Moon base set. So that's Forbidden Light. Moving forward, Celestial Storm, 3rd of August 2018. This had Rayquaza on the artwork as well. I think it had some decent cards in it. So this one grew a little bit more than some of the other ones that we've seen so far. Apart from Shining Legends and stuff like that. The highest price for this right now is $360 on eBay, sold listing, right? So already sold. I think you can get it for $300, fluctuating from $250 upwards, $300 for a Celestial Storm booster box. That ain't too bad, to be honest. But like I said, I'm going to say it all the time. $150 was the regular retail price. It grew in 2 years to nearly double that, or double that in a bit. I think that's seen its growth already. The Elite Trainer box is very attractive. If you haven't seen one of those, that looks really cool. But yeah, so I wouldn't invest any more into that unless you did already. But yeah, it's seen double and a bit growth. Not too bad. Collectible set. Yeah, it's not up there in the Sun and Moon sets. People wouldn't even think of it, compared to, Hidden Fates and some of the other ones we're going to talk about later, Burning Shadows and Shining Legends, but it's still not bad. It hasn't done too bad. Dragon Majesty, 2nd holiday set, all right, so something to talk about. I haven't really talked about Dragon Majesty that much. It's probably, out of the 3 holiday sets, it's, kind of ignored. Kind of funnily enough, though, because that does have a Charizard also. It has a lot of Dragon Pokemon in it. It is a small set, but it's pretty cool. I do like it myself. Regular retail price was $80 for an Elite Trainer box. No booster box for this, all right. Came out 7th of September 2018. You can get this for about $220 maximum price. That is the sold listing. It could have been, you could probably get it for $200. At the start of this year, I think there was one for $110, similar to the Shining Legends, and over time, over the last couple months, it's doubled in that. So it's not quite there with Shining Legends. Like I said, it is probably the 3rd best, there's only 3 holiday sets in Sun and Moon, so it is the third one that is, it gets third place. $220 for Dragon Majesty ETB. I think it is decently investable. Maybe not much attention to it right now. If you were going to invest in it, you should have invested in it back then, but time is too late, and you got to think about the future. Holiday sets seem to do pretty well, as we've seen with Shining Legends, Dragon Majesty, and that's probably why we're looking at Champion's Path and then the next holiday set for Sword and Shield. So this is where you look at the past and you'd be like, holiday sets tend to do pretty well, so maybe that's a trend. And so far it hasn't really let down. Dragon Majesty is probably the least out of the ones so far. Shining Legends and Hidden Fates, Hidden Fates yet to talk about that yet, So Dragon Majesty still seeing some growth, and I think it's still sellable as well. There is some good cards in that set, good collectability there. So that's done well over, the last year or two. Moving forward, Lost Thunder, 2nd of November, 2018. All right, this has done pretty well. It wasn't a bad set either. It had some decent cards in it. It has grown compared to some of the other ones. It's grown quite a bit more. Max price for this is $330. I think you can get it, ranging from $300 or $250 upwards. That's double and a bit or nearly triple value of your booster box if you bought this at regular retail. So that ain't too bad. Lost Thunder, can you find buyers for it? I think so. I think you can. Compared to some of the other sets we've talked about already, it's definitely not like a Sun and Moon base set or, Guardians Rising. It's better than that. So that is why the price is as it is. But yeah, still more to come. Sold listings will be on the screen, guys. So keep in mind, these prices that I'm saying, they're at the highest peak. That's the highest people have sold them for. I definitely think you can get it cheaper if you were to just buy it for collection purposes. Investing wise, I like to think we've missed the boat for those. I don't like investing in something that I could have bought for regular retail besides a vintage, because like I said, vintage, we can't go back 20 years, but 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we had our chance, didn't do it, or we weren't around, and that's what it is. We're just trying to move forward. We're trying to get some of this knowledge and be like, this set did well, this set didn't, why? And maybe we do that with Sword and Shield, Team Up, guys, a big one, 31st of the 1st, 2019. This is when I was getting really engaged in the hobby. I started watching Leonhard and stuff, but Team Up, huge set, all right? I think it was the first set that had the tag teams in it, and that really did a lot for Pokemon. I think that brought a lot of people in, and this is probably why this grew quite a bit, right? So if you bought this last year, $150, right? This was just 1 year ago, or 1.5 years. Right now, max price, $565. I hope they do a reprint of this, because if they do, I am buying some boxes of those. Because usually with the reprint, it does drop back down. $565, that's huge growth. Probably one of the biggest growths in Sun and Moon booster boxes. From 150 to 565, that's like 4 times that price, in a year's time. That's pretty good, That was really quick, but really good cards in here. The Gengar cards are beautiful. A lot of collectability there, I think, especially for the tag teams. A lot of great cards in there. It does have some starters like Venusaur and stuff. Very cool set and deserves that growth. But yeah, there's plenty of very valuable cards if you get them in PSA 10. That's really cool. Team Up, really good set. And sold listings are up on the screen. I think they're going for, 400 to 565, 570 at the most. At the most. If you want to get it for your collection, try to get it cheaper than that. I think that's quite a lot of money for a box that just got released last year. We don't see many of these boxes around either. People have opened them and people have kept them in their collections. If they do decide to do a reprint, that is a good set to snag up, I reckon. personally, if they do reprint of that, I will buy some of those boxes and hold on to them. I think it has evolution-esque vibe to it for me. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. So moving forward, Detective Pikachu, 29th of March last year, 2019, came out with a movie and all that stuff, right? For this, booster boxes were in Japan. We had the boxes, the case files and stuff. Don't really see that much growth with it. I looked up, the booster packs are still $5, right? So if you want to buy some booster packs, they're still the same price they were last year. Maybe you can get them cheaper as well if you're buying bulk from someone, but some people have said there's some investability in that. Depends what you get. The set is so small. Maybe the pre-release cards or the one with the stamps on those Detective Pikachu cards, maybe they'll be wanted in years' time. When you look back at even the Wizards of the Coast promos, the movie promos, they've gone up, but they haven't gone up much compared to some of the other things that's Wizards of the Coast. And I don't think Detective Pikachu will have that same effect in 20 years' time. I don't really know. I don't really see it. I do have the whole set, Detective Pikachu. I've got the binder and all that. I'm going to hold on to it, of course. But, yeah, I just don't... It's different. It's a different set. Very small, very tiny, very cool. But, there's been plenty of those kind of sets around, like Jurassic Park and different movies. They try to do the same thing. They haven't really risen in value that much, considering the time frame it takes. So, yeah, I don't have any of that Detective Pikachu stuff on hand, sealed products. Just got the cards, got the set. That's about it. Unbroken Bonds, 3rd of May, 2019. Quite a big growth with this. We already know Reshizard, big chase for this. A lot of YouTubers hyped this up big time. And yeah, it brought a lot of people back in. $470 is the max price that you can find it for. I think you can get it for $400, $350, just shop around if you were looking to buy this for your collection. Investing wise, you already know the answer. I'm not going to say it again, but Unbroken Bonds, really cool set. $400 plus, not bad. Growth in under a year, or just about a year, right? So that's good growth. That did well. Why did it do well? Charizards, yeah? Team up, why did it do well? Tag teams, okay? So there's collectability in those sets, and that's why people want them. That's why people demand them, and they will buy it for those prices. So compared to some of the other stuff that didn't really have much of that, you can see the differences between each set, why they've grown, why this one grew more than Crimson Invasion, It's just how it is. There's better cards in it. More people want the cards, More people like the artwork. Makes sense. Bigger set. More people were involved at that time as well. All play factors. All right. Unified Minds, all right. Next set, all right. This is when I started doing YouTube videos. Unified Minds and Unbroken Bonds. So this was last year. $310 max price for Unified Minds booster box. So that's gone up double price. Not too bad. I think it's still being slept on. Maybe that will grow a little bit further. But I still personally would not buy a booster box at that price because I just won't. I like buying it at retail. You know how it is. So double price in a year's time. That's pretty good. Some of the cards there are pretty valuable as well. If you're looking to, buy a box, open it, grade some of the cards, you could probably make your money back. You're making your money back, you're still having the fun in opening the packs. That's a pretty good deal. So, Unified Minds got slept on a lot because Hidden Fates came out straight away, literally a couple weeks after that, and it just overshadowed Unified Minds. So at that time, it was a good time to buy Unified Minds, considering all the attention was on Hidden Fates, but still didn't do it. I've got plenty of cards from the set. Maybe I should grade some of them. I don't know, but that's how it is. It's doubled in price in a year's time. So that's pretty cool. Let's see how, how that goes. If they reprint any of these sets, mainly the particular ones that have grown, doubled in price or tripled in price, those are the ones I'll probably be buying some of. I did that with Evolutions and it turned out pretty good. So yeah, we'll see what, you know, what happens in the future. If they reprint Unified Minds, Team Up, Unbroken Bonds, those are the ones definitely I'll be looking to purchase as well as an investor and a collector. You know, that's just me. Hidden Fates, 23rd of August. So literally like 20 days after Unified Minds, like I said before. All right. Regular retail price for this ETB was not $80. All right. The last two holiday sets were $80. This was $110 regular retail price. I looked at that time and I said, no, I ain't doing that. You know, I ain't spending that. And kind of a mistake, I guess. I kind of regret. I did say that in one of my other videos, but $110 was regular retail price. I thought it was too expensive. It turns out it wasn't. And yeah, you know, we've seen what Hidden Fates has done. Like I said before, there has been a reprint in the UK and US that's been announced, pre-orders. Don't know when it's coming out. I think next year, Jan. Maybe we'll get some stock over here, like, you know, imported, but probably won't see much of it. Sold out real quick. You know, so I did predict the price of that will drop back down for the time being, but then people will just buy up that supply and sell it real quick. So chances are the prices will probably hold pretty well anyway. So nothing too much to worry about with that reprint. The demand is just so high for it compared to the supply that, you know, I think the prices will be okay for it. Right now they're going for $575. Definitely probably the best investment out of all the Sun and Moon stuff, but we will, you know, do a little small comparison at the end of the video. Don't know how long this is going to be. It feels like it's already a long one, but this is what it takes. You know, when you're doing your research, doing your investments, you're looking which sets do well, which sets don't, what has grown, what hasn't, and, you know, applying that in future deals and future investment thoughts, right? So you do want to take your time. You do want to, you know, make sure you're knowledgeable in this stuff before you just jump in and start spending your money, you know. So last set, Cosmic Eclipse. This one's a big one. I've had a few subscribers talk about Cosmic Eclipse recently as well. Definitely I think it's a fan favorite. It was a big set, one of the biggest sets out. So this came out 1st of November 2019. The most expensive box sold for $310. So, you know, this was last year and it's already doubled in price since then. I think it's a good set to invest in. I probably should have held onto my boxes. At that time I was opening packs, you know. I actually opened quite a lot of Cosmic Eclipse. I got quite a few nice full art cards and stuff. I've sent them off to grading. I think people love them a lot, and that is a good thing. You know, when collectors like certain cards, those are the ones that tend to sell pretty well. They sell quickly, and they rise in value pretty decently as well. So we see that with the box price. I think there's more room for growth in that, but I just keep saying it. I just won't buy a booster box for more than regular retail price for modern. Okay, so I just missed the boat. You know, if they reprint this, I will buy it. I will buy it at regular retail price, but I ain't going to be spending $300 on one booster box. That's just, yeah, you know how it is. Great cards in that set, you know, great growth as well. You know, in a year's time, double in price. That is good. You know, if you buy a case, right? If you think of it, you know, buying a lot of this, that's a lot of money, right? So I had a friend, he bought, I think, 6 cases of Evolutions at the reprint. That's a huge move, you know. Each booster box is going for like $600 to $800 right now as of making this video. You know, there's 12 booster boxes in a case. No, there's 6 booster boxes in a case. My bad. You know, if he sold those individually, he's looking at like $24,000, and he only spent like $3,000, something like that. So that's insane, the amount that he's getting back in return. Definitely, these Sun and Moon sets are something to learn about because they were the last sets compared to Sword and Shield. So I think there is a lot to learn. If you break it down, you look at which sets really did well. I think the best set that really did well, obviously, is Hidden Fates, with a huge growth in short amount of time. If you look at something like Sun and Moon base set, didn't do too well. You can get it for like $220, not far off the retail price 3 years ago. If you bought lots of that, and sold it for $200 a piece right now, you're getting $50 each box, but you had to wait a long time. Not a long time, but a lot longer than some of these other sets. Definitely, you can tell which ones did well. Team Up, Unbroken Bonds, Cosmic Eclipse, and the ones that even doubled in price, I think they've done pretty well too. It's not all about that whole huge growth thing, like I said at the start of the video. It's important to know, right, what sells as well, Something like Lost Thunder is like $310, but I think it'd be easier to sell a Cosmic Eclipse box over a Lost Thunder box, and they're both roughly the same price, A buyer would rather buy Cosmic Eclipse than a Lost Thunder box, purely because of the cards are better in it, the set might be better, they might know the set better, there's just those kind of variables to think about. But, like I said, if you're moving forward and you're thinking about investing in each booster box, that wouldn't be such a bad idea. As you can see, every single booster box that I've said from Sun and Moon has risen in value. Even if it's $10, $20, it just takes time. If you're a collector or just a natural booster box collector, this shouldn't be too hard for you to do. You can just buy a booster box every single time, just one. I know people that buy cases. That's a lot more riskier because you're putting more money into it. But as I said, my friend bought 3 cases of Evolutions. It really worked out for him. He's pretty much, that's life-changing money right there. Spending only like $3,000. If he sold them all right now, he can probably get $24,000. And they still haven't been slowing down, Evolutions booster boxes. So, man, that was lucky. I bought quite a few, but I didn't buy 3 cases. That's a lot of cases. That's a lot of booster boxes that he could sell. And, he had that money at the time. It's important to be selective with your products. Like I said before, if you're buying every single booster box, then you potentially might be not losing money, but that's money you could be spending somewhere else. If you bought Sun and Moon Base, not Burning Shadows, Crimson Invasion, Guardians Rising, some of those, some of those sets that didn't do too well, that's money you could have used for Burning Shadows, Shining Legends and stuff, It's hard to know at the time, of course, and in this day and age, these prices go up real quick. Sun and Moon's a little bit of a different area because they weren't rising this quickly like how it is right now. Right now, Champions Path pre-orders, people are selling it for double the price real early before it even comes out. Before I got my Champions Path ETB, it already doubled in price. That's just different times, different era. But they usually release the cards, what's going to go in the set. So I think that does help, and hopefully you found a lot of this information helpful in this video. That's the point of it. It actually helped me while I was doing this breakdown. It actually opens your mind a little bit to, some sets are exactly the same price. Unified Minds and Cosmic Eclipse, roughly the same price right now. What would someone rather? I think they would rather Cosmic Eclipse over Unified Minds, but honestly, I don't think Unified Minds is a bad set. But something like, let me see, Ultra Prism, for example, right? Something like Ultra Prism is $470. Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Minds, Burning Shadows are cheaper than that, right? I think that would attract a buyer more than Ultra Prism. Ultra Prism did rise in value a lot, but let's say you invested in a Burning Shadows booster box, I think that would be a lot easier to sell than an Ultra Prism box. If you invested in like 10 Ultra Prisms and 10 Burning Shadows, it might be better to do the Burning Shadows, even though the return is less. It's just quicker sale. Better to get your capital in and cash flow and all that stuff. So I think this video is dragging out dragging on a lot. I'm losing my voice. So let me know your questions down below if you have any. Hopefully this was helpful. And I'll see you guys in 2 to 3 days time. Bye. Boop.